Hey everybody, my name's Chuck, and today I'm going to be taking a road trip to South Fork Bridge in Fountain Lake, Arkansas. Now today I do have a general idea of where I'm going. South Fork Lake is north of Hot Springs. It's on Lonsdale Cutoff Road. But I haven't really planned a whole lot else. I have some vague ideas of what I might want to do, and I wrote some notes down specifically for those cases, but who knows, today might just be completely off the rails. I have no idea yet. All right, so the first stop on our little road trip here is at these hotels that are behind me. These are the Mountaineer Hotels, I believe is what they're called. They were built in 1947 by Al Albinson in Minnesota, and they operated as hotels for 20 years until I guess it no longer became profitable to run them. Afterwards, they were an elder care facility, and nowadays they stand abandoned. In this striking style where they're kind of tiered, it's kind of an interesting relic of Hot Springs past. I'm going to take a look around and see what I can figure out. You can see where the electricity was ran up to the buildings up there. Quite a bit of graffiti on them. Tacos! I think it's tacos. These are quite unique though. You got these dual steps that lead down to the road. Let's walk down here and take a look at the buildings from the front. Also, this power line is kind of like hanging, or maybe it's a data cable. I don't know. Feels kind of dangerous. I could totally touch that. With these glass inlets on the front of the column here. Maybe this would have been the driveway for the place. Maybe there was like a parking garage or something. They're definitely very unique. You don't see buildings like this very often. I guess maybe that was like a door up there. I'm old, but I'm not so old that I can't jump over a wall like that. Oh, there is a bit of an opening here. Let's go look. Looks like maybe some homeless people are staying in here. As long as they don't burn the place down, whatever, I'm fine with it, I guess. But I mean, ultimately it doesn't matter. It's not up to me. But it's a shame that people have to live in these kind of buildings. They don't have the opportunity to hold a job and stay in an apartment or something like that. All right, now we go onward. Now the next place I'm going, I don't even know the name of it. It looks like it might have been an old care facility of some sort. It's got a gate. It's been graffitied on a bunch, but maybe I need to try to go explore it a little bit. Oh, let's just hop around this way. There's my cart. This isn't creepy. What could possibly go wrong? Huh.
Oh gosh! Oh! Hey, stay! Stop!
I'm assuming back when this was an actual place that was operational, this entrance would have been covered in canvas or something similar. Huh. All the glass has been knocked out. Safety goggles. I wonder why they had safety goggles. Elevator. Assuming this would have been the reception desk area. Honestly, I'm not really sure like how structurally sound the place is. I'm not going to go crazy exploring it, but it's interesting that there's an old abandoned building here that just nothing ever got done with. That seems to be a pretty common theme here in Hot Springs. I feel like with as modern as all the facade is and all of the cabinets and fixtures on the walls, I feel like it can't have been abandoned that long. And like even these ties around these trees are relatively new and in good shape. So they took the ties off of this root ball for this tree, and it kind of looks like they formed to the actual container they were in. You can see that. Huh. You can kind of see in the clearing where that old road that was closed from the video about Stonebridge and Gulf of Gorge. You can kind of see where that road travels right behind this building and ends up trailing off towards another street that intersects Park Avenue. Up here, this is pretty grown up. It looks like maybe they closed it off or something. Yeah, I think this, at some point, this intersected with the road over there. Let's walk over and take a look. Crawl through some stuff here. Oh. Yeah, you can see up here where this used to be the road that led to that other road. And I'll walk out to it so you can take a look down it. See where the dirt was kind of mounted up to block the road off, but you can see that there was a concrete barrier that kind of indicated the edge of the road I'm walking on. And here we come out to the road with asphalt. This road, assuming has been closed for quite some time, but you can take it that way to go towards downtown, and you can take it this way to go to Gulf of Gorge Road. I guess whenever I do decide to edit this video, I'm gonna have to do some research and see how old this building is and see what the name of it was previously.
Okay, I looked it up. This was originally the Rosewood Convalescent Nursing Center. It was opened in 1962 and closed in 1964. In the 70s, it was known as Abbey Hill Nursing Home and Rehabilitation Center, but the building has been closed and vacant since 2007. So there you go.
I know that style of brickwork with the holes in it like that, it feels like it's an 80s thing or maybe early 90s thing. This looks like maybe it was a loading dock. And you can walk up and see all the power boxes, which have been stripped for years. There were some stairs that went up that way, and there's the back of the building. But yeah, this would have definitely been a receiving bay of some sort for materials. And there's a motion sensor light up there. Let's see where these stairs go exactly. There's a little electrical box up these stairs. We'd almost have to assume at some point that this was a parking lot. There's some tires up here. There's a little concrete barrier. But how old must this be that it's so covered in stuff? So yeah, this is definitely some sort of maybe old road or parking lot, but again, it's got to be older than the facility, I would think. I'm thinking that the facility is 30 or 40 years old. I'm thinking this parking lot's more like 60 or 70 years old. I still can't help but feel like this is a bit of a waste. Like something couldn't have been done with this facility. Was the cost of renovating it so great that it wasn't worth like checking into? I wonder who made the financial decision to say that this building is not worth messing with and is not worth renovating. All right, back to the car. So here right down the street is an elder care facility called the Springs. And it makes me wonder if perhaps the Springs wasn't over there originally, or maybe if it wasn't part of that facility. I'm just not entirely sure. So I was driving along and I found another old abandoned building. We're gonna go inside, really not inside, but kind of just like into, because it doesn't have a roof. And we'll see what we can find out. Now, I can't help but feel like this is an old factory or something like that. But we're gonna take a look around it and see what we can figure out. Cross a little bit of a stream here. Feet are gonna get slightly wet, that's okay. It's middle of summer, I'm not worried. Maybe part of a chimney or a well or something over there. Yeah, some sort of water system maybe. Looks like a water pipe. Yeah, these definitely look like maybe they were an old factory or something. You can see a foundation that goes all the way around in the back, and the actual foundation for the building's up here. You can see where there was a stovepipe or something that came out the side. See if we can find a better way to walk up to it. Not much going on inside of it though. Huh. It's got a little bit of a decorative piece right there. And there's this little retaining wall that goes all the way around the back side. Oh, let's go up this way. A little mud, not much. Oh, something in the ground there. Obviously, these buildings have been abandoned for a little bit. You can see the way this tree is growing up through it. There's no telling how old this is. This could be 75, 100 years old. Just have to be mindful of where I step. Be mindful of where you step, Chuck. You see where some of the bricks have fallen. Huh. Little room or something here. Looks like maybe that was a fireplace over there. That would make that a chimney. This is a ground level one. It's got steps that go down into it. It had some sort of a basement. Yeah, it's deep enough that you can't really see the bottom, and it echoes whenever you talk into it. So that's a pretty significant basement there. It's probably for the best that I'm not walking through it. I don't want to fall into it. Let's see what we got going on over here. Okay. Huh. So this had to have been an old factory of some sort. Oh. Man. I'd really like to know what this was. That's something here. Maybe a well. Not entirely sure what that is. We have a little bit of a sidewalk. We have the front of this building. Ooh, tree fell into it. There's the retaining wall behind it. Here's the inside of the building. You can see where the beams have started to cave in. It's for the best that I didn't walk any further. I could hear that it was hollow. I'm kind of glad I didn't fall through. Took a big view of the front of it. Now you'll notice in the concrete up at the top, it's got an Indian head. Maybe it had something to do with the name of the company. But this is an old style building, obviously. Arch windows like that with metal frames, they're really industrial in nature usually. They're just not that common. I think this building is probably 60, 70, 80 years old. It's old as time. I have a sneaking suspicion that the building behind me might have had something to do with processing rocks. I know this area is known for novaculite, which is a natural stone used for sharpening knives and industrial equipment. And they do some mining for novaculite in Mill Creek Road, on Mill Creek Road, in that valley, in that area. So this might have had something to do with that, or it might have had something to do with something else entirely. I'll figure it out if I can. I'll try to do some research on Google.
Don't worry, Video Chuck, Narrator Chuck has you. This is the Chewacla Water Company, and then later on the Sleepy Hollow Water Company, which makes sense with that fountain out front. I don't know the exact date that this building was made or when the company was founded, Chewacla, but there are records that date back all the way to 1913 of it existing. And then it became the Sleepy Hollow Bottling Company in 1958, so very, very old company, and I'm assuming the building is 100 and something years old.
I had originally went up Sleepy Valley just to look at that one place, but you know, sometimes you find gold. You know, I've never really thought about Fountain Lake as being like a booming community. I guess in the past it was. There's quite a bit of old stuff around here. You know, old car washes and old vehicles sitting all over the place, old buildings, old businesses. Here we have what appears to be an old car wash, but obviously it's been blocked off. Yeah, this definitely was a car wash. You can tell from the pit over there. But it's got some really fancy brickwork. They've got like a fountain over here or something. Over here, they've got a really old box truck, and it's pretty cool looking as well. North American is what it says on the side. It's got a lift gate on the back. Lewis Transfer and Storage Co. 215 Drexel, Hot Springs, Arkansas. Bet you this truck has seen some things. Also, they don't make names like that anymore. The Chevrolet Viking. Chevrolet Viking is a pretty cool name. Even the work trucks back in the day were pretty handsome. I really like the grille on this. I like the kind of the front facade of it. How does the old joke go in every state? There's two seasons. There's winter and construction. Well, we're definitely victims of that right now. All right, now I'm parked up the road from the main objective of this trip, which is the South Fork Bridge. Let's go take a look at it. So right now we find ourselves on Lonsdale Cutoff Road, also known as Arkansas 128. And previously, before the bridge that we're walking up to was built, there was a one-lane bridge called the South Fork Bridge that was built in 1928. And if you look along here, you can see where the power lines go. Down there was actually where the road used to go. And there's also evidence in the junction with Arkansas 128 to Hot Springs Highway, where the road used to also differ a little bit as well, and we'll try to take a picture of that. Now, I've been here previously, but it was during the fall, and I think that it was a little bit easier to see stuff during the fall. Everything's really grown up right now, but this bridge is pretty special when you see it. Over in the distance, you can see the more modern bridge that replaced this. And again, as you can tell, this bridge wouldn't have been more than a lane wide. To be fair, this bridge was built like 100 years ago, almost. I think it was like maybe like 97 years ago. So yeah, it's going to be representative of a different time. I mean, when it was originally built, most people wouldn't have even had cars. Most people would have been riding horses and carriages on this. It would actually be a fairly progressive bridge for the time. Most bridges would have been wooden. This bridge was built in 1928. The planning was started for it in 1927, and it was a response to flooding in the area. I guess at the time they were having some issues with trying to keep maybe like wooden bridges or something from getting knocked out. And this one has definitely stood the test of time. It was very unique in that it is a double arch bridge, which is strange again for the time. It's really strange in the United States in general. Most of the bridges you see nowadays are metal girders and columns. Obviously, though, this being built 97 years ago, they had to find a more eloquent solution to their problem that involved the technology of the time. I'm going to see if I can go over here and find a way to take some pictures of it from a better angle. You can tell that the water is slowly washing out the foundation on this side of the bridge. And this right here would have been the road that led up to back to where the highway was at. You can also tell that people do frequent this place still. It looks like maybe this is a turnaround where some side-by-sides or four-wheelers go. I bet that if you look off in the distance, there's probably a path that'll lead out. Yep, I'm correct. There's a road. When you look at it from this angle, you truly get a feel for like how epic the bridge actually is. This would have been way ahead of its time in 1928, especially in this area. That water just looks absolutely pristine, and on a very hot day like this, it makes me want to go swimming so bad. That's kind of a question we have to ask ourselves as a society. When you have this resource that is still in amazing shape, already on the National Register of Historic Places, why are we not doing something to utilize this? Why are we not taking advantage of this already 100-year-old structure that still stands strong and steadfast? And why are we not turning it into a resource that we can enjoy? You know, that our families can enjoy, our friends can enjoy. I don't know, it's kind of baffling to me, but this right here, in my opinion, is one of the truly epic old bridges that I have managed to find in all of my travels, and I'm glad I get to visit it. The road continues on this way, but it's fairly grown up. If I would have tackled this during winter, it would be way easier to see that there's another bridge over there as well, but I really don't feel like getting eaten up by chiggers. At some point, I'd definitely like to do a video where I revisit this place and all of the other abandoned bridges that I know of in the area. And I'd like to make them into sort of a compilation video. If you're interested in that kind of thing, let me know in the comments. That would be a video that I'd be interested in, but I want to know if you're interested in it. There was a little bit of a side road, and I did manage to get a little bit of a view of this here bridge. This is a bridge that is a little further down, but is obviously made in the exact same style. And it continues the road all the way up there so that it reconnects with Arkansas 128. So up here you can kind of tell where the road used to go. Obviously the road goes up there now and intersects, looks like Highway 5, Arkansas 5. But it used to intersect over here. And I'm assuming that the change was made to the road whenever the bridges was built and it was made into a 2-lane highway. It just made more sense to have it be a more like perpendicular intersection. But if you go along here, it's pretty obvious. At some point this was the actual official road. You'll find this a lot in Arkansas, where they make decisions to make roads a little less dangerous. So they'll make the intersections a little more like safer, a little more obvious. But Right now I'm standing on broken up asphalt, so this was obviously the road at some point. It would have had to have been probably in the 80s, which is pretty recent when you think about it. But everything I'm standing on is asphalt. And it would have led straight off that way, and then it would have intersected with the bridge up there. So today's adventure was a little bit more of an impromptu one. I kind of had an idea of where I wanted to go and what I wanted to see as far as like the main attraction, which was this bridge. But the other areas, they weren't really planned. I mean, I'd kind of like vaguely wrote some show notes, but going to the Mountain Air Hotel, going to what appeared to be an old rest home. These are all things that I just didn't plan today. Hopefully though, you found this video interesting. I do love doing this kind of impromptu exploring. Hopefully you found this video entertaining. And if you're into this kind of stuff, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'd like to continue making videos. And hopefully they're interesting. Thanks for watching, I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel.